Center Church, we are just a couple days away from the beginning of our annual 21-day corporate encouragement to fast and pray. And so this year, as a part of that, we're going to be releasing a series of videos throughout the entire time to encourage you in that season of fasting and prayer, to help you stay focused in the season. Today, I just want to talk about the secret power behind fasting and how it shows up throughout the Bible real quickly. It's incredible when you realize how many of the key moments in the Bible are accompanied by prayer and fasting. One of the first that I think of is when Moses is on Mount Sinai receiving the 10 Commandments and those tablets. He spent 40 days and nights in fasting from food and water. It was a supernatural fast. Nehemiah, as he began to go back and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he led them into a time of prayer and fasting for that. Ezra, when he went back to teach in Jerusalem, again, the law and the Bible and the word to the Israelites, he took time to pray and fast for protection on his journey because he had told the king he didn't need protection, so he had to go to the Lord to find that protection. Esther, when she was facing going in to see the king in order to talk about protecting the Jews, she asked Mordecai to call for a 3-day corporate fast and prayer before she went. Jesus, before he began his earthly ministry, went to the wilderness and spent 40 days fasting. Again, in a supernatural fast before he began that ministry. Paul, when his conversion occurred, he went into 3 days of fasting as he prayed and waited for Ananias to come and to share the word of the Lord to him. And then also we see Paul and Barnabas are not only called by the elders into the missionary journeys because they were fasting and praying, but then as they went with fasting and praying. And so throughout the Bible, we see this supernatural connection to the Lord that is accompanied through fasting and prayer. One of the things that I think that happens in fasting is that we receive clarity as we begin to lose distraction. See, I came outside this morning, maybe wondering, why are you out in the freezing cold? It's like 25 degrees out. And I'm like, well, because I wanted you to get the picture that when you're drowsy and worn out and stuff, one of the things that can happen sometimes is you go outside and all of a sudden, boom, this energy comes and you wake up and you're ready to go. See, fasting, sometimes when we break free from the chains and the comforts of this life, all of a sudden give us this breath of freshness and clarity as we seek the Lord in fasting. See, fasting is the denial of something in the physical realm in order to gain breakthrough in the spiritual realm. Often throughout the scripture, we see that in the area of food is often what they're fasting from. Many in the modern church have now included fasting with things like social media and TV and those kind of things. But it is the idea of denying something here and seeking the Lord so that we may gain breakthrough in the spiritual realm. See, Donald Whitney says it is the divine appointed way for special intercession. He goes on to say the most important aspect of the discipline is its influence on prayer. You'll notice that in one way or another, all of the other biblical purposes of fasting relate to prayer. So, as we look at entering this time of prayer and fasting for Center Church, I want to give you kind of 5 things to consider. First, ask yourself, what are you going to pray? What are you going to fast from? Is it going to be some kind of food fast, whether it be a day or week, you fast from a certain meal, or you fast from, like, part of my fast may be fasting from coffee, the time that it takes to make that coffee and using that to pray for something specific. Will it be a fast from social media or from games or from TV or something like that you're going to choose to use that time to seek the Lord instead? And if you notice, I keep saying exchanging something to seek the Lord. See, fasting and prayer, number 2, go hand in glove. They cannot. See, fasting from food is just dieting. But when we add prayer to it, it becomes something spiritual and has a big spiritual impact in our lives. So remember that you're not just fasting from something, you're fasting so that you may seek the Lord in this season. Number 3, I just want to encourage you, if you've not fasted before, start small. Okay? Don't take off something huge. Start with something small and allow yourself to grow into fasting. Number 4, give yourself grace. You may fall at some point. Just pick up the fast again and keep moving and seeking the Lord. And then finally, be expectant. Be expecting God to do something big in this season of fasting. You are going to him. It says when we go after him, he will hear, he will respond. And so as you pray and fast, be expecting that God is going to work. Okay, so we want to know how Center Church is doing in this fast. So Monday, you are going to receive a survey. We ask you to just take a minute. It's not going to take much longer than a minute to fill that out. So we have an idea of what you're fasting from and what you're fasting for. It's going to be anonymous. If you're not fasting, just say, I'm not doing it. We want to know that too. And so we can be praying so we have an idea of how many people are engaging in this. And then finally, keep watching for these videos that come out daily on Facebook and YouTube so you can be encouraged in your fast. I am excited for what God is going to do in this fast. I'm excited to hear the stories and testimonies of how God works in your life.